Hey guys, it's me, Kate again. So this video is going to be popular book opinions that so I'll answer some popular opinions about the books. So the first question is a popular book or series that you love. You can't actually see the stack, but half of it is the answer for this question and the other half is the answer for the second question. So let's begin. So the first book is Fangirl by Rainbow Rowell. I actually love this cover more than like UK and US. So in this book we're following Kat, who is really into fandom and she is going off to college. She writes fan fiction, and one day, and while going on to college, she gets separated from her twin sister, who wants to meet new people while Kat doesn't want to. And we are following Kat. Then the next is The Gentleman's Guide to Vice and Virtue by Mackenzie Lee. So here we're following Monty, who is going on to his grand tour with his best friend Percy, who he might or might not be in love with. And also they bring Monty's sister along because she is going to finishing school and they're going through where she needs to go on the tour, so they bring her. Then A Darker Shade of Magic series by V. Schwab. I read first two books, A Darker Shade of Magic and Gathering of Shadows, or is that the third book? I read first two books. For this one was 5 out of 5 stars and the second one was 4 out of 5 stars. So in this series we're following Kellen, who is one of the last Antares, who are people who can travel through parallel worlds, and in this world there are 4 Londons: Grey London, which is our London; Red London, where magic is worshipped; White London, where people fight to control the remaining magic; and Black London, which was destroyed by magic. And one day Cal actually smuggles something from Black London and gets in trouble. Then we have Stormlight Archive by Brandon Sanderson. This is The Way of Kings Part 1, because in UK paperbacks they are split into 2 halves. So in this series we're following this war again between Aleti and Parshendi, which is waging for a few hundreds of years, all because Parshendi killed Aleti king, and now there's not much point to the war, except they are fighting to control these shard plates and shard blades. Then we have A Pinch of Magic series by Michelle Harrison. In this series we're following 3 sisters, Betty, Fliss and Charlie, whose family is cursed that women can't leave the island they currently are living on, but Betty isn't really happy about it. So they are trying to break the curse. The next series that I love, that is popular, is Spellslinger series by Sebastian de Castell. At the moment that I'm filming this, I'm still currently reading the last book, by the time you're seeing this, I'll either already be finished with it, but or really close to the end. So in this series we're following Kellen, who in this book is just about to take his magic trials, but his magic is failing, so he decides to cheat. And stuff grows from there. The next book that I love that is popular is Night Circus by Erin Morgenstern. So this is a book about a circus that comes without warning, and two of the magicians in that circus are trying to have a duel using magic, but the thing is they don't know about each other, and so it just ends up being trying to outdo each other, because they for a good portion of this book don't know who each other are. So I'll just read what it says on the back. It says, "The circus arrives without warning. No announcement precedes it. It is simply there when yesterday it was not." I love this book. The next series is Aurora Cycle by Amy Kaufman and Jake Christoph. This is the first book, Aurora Rising. So in this series we're following Squad 312, who basically are a band of misfits, because on his graduation day their leader Tyler Jones is late for his graduation ceremony because he was saving a girl named Aurora. So now instead of picking the best of the best, he ends up with bottom of the barrel, and his squad besides him and Aurora consists of a cocky diplomat with a black belt in sarcasm, a sociopath scientist with a fondness for shooting her bunkmates, a smartest tech whiz with Galaxy's biggest chip on his shoulder, an alien warrior with anger management issues, and a tomboy pilot who's totally not into Thai, in case you were wondering. Then I promise we don't have that much to go for this question. A Court of Thorns and Roses series by Sarah J. Maas. In this series we start by following Farah, who one day while hunting for her family, she accidentally kills a wolf, and his boss takes her to his court to live there as punishment. And this book is Beauty and the Beast retelling, and the second one is Hades and Persephone retelling, I think. And of course stuff goes from there because it's Sarah J. Maas. I just figured out they picked up the wrong book by the Winter Age trilogy. This is actually the second book, not the first one. I took The Girl in the Tower instead of The Bear and the Nightingale, but so in this trilogy we're following a girl named Vasya who is growing up in the Russian countryside in Middle Ages, and one day her father remarries and his wife takes a priest with her, but both Vasya and her stepmother can see old Russian spirits who, after the priest comes and starts converting everybody to Christianity, don't get their sacrifices, and the thing is, Vasya's stepmother thinks they're demons, while Vasya is still taking care of them. So we get that conflict in the first book, but this whole series is taking the backdrop of Mongolians coming to Russia and then Europe. So we have real historical people in this book as books as characters, and the real events that took place in the actual Russian history. Then we have Illumine by Amy Kaufman and Jay Kristoff. So this series is about a group of characters who call themselves Illumine Group, and we're starting this by this with destruction of colony Kerenza 4. And in this first book we're following two characters from Illumine Group who actually lived through attack and then escaped. In the second book we're following two characters on the jump station Heimdall, which is the space station where they are supposed to come to, and we are following two characters who live on there, and then that gets attacked, so that people for Kerenza can't get to there. And then in third book we're getting going back to Kerenza 4, where we are following two people. One is the cousin of the girl in Illumine who actually lived through attack and stayed on the colony, and the other one being her ex, who turns out works for the people who attacked their colony. I promise there is not much left. Then we have Throne of Glass by Sarah J. Maas. So in this series we are following assassin Selena Sardotian, who at the beginning of this book is in a mine being a slave until the captain of the King's Guard comes and takes her to the prince, who wants her to become his champion in this competition to become King's assassin in exchange for going out of the mine. Then we have Harry Potter and the Philosopher's Stone. If you're living under the rock for the past almost 30 years and don't know what Harry Potter is about, it's about a boy named Harry Potter who on his 11th birthday finds out that he is a wizard and goes to Hogwarts, the school for wizards and for witchcraft and wizardry. And I promise this is the last book, Felix Ever After by Canson Calendar. So this is about a boy named Felix Lau who is black, queer and transgender, and he deals with some transphobic bullying in the school and ends up in this semi love triangle situation because of catfishing situation with his best friend and his best friend's ex. So the second question is an underhyped book or series that you love and wish were more popular. Now the rest of the books on this stack. And I already have been talking for God knows how long. The first is Wonder Woman Warbreaker by Bradley Barugo, but this is representing the whole series, which is DC Icon series, where we are following reimagined backstories of DC characters. This first one is Wonder Woman, the second one is Batman, third one is Catwoman, fourth one is Superman, and I just saw this morning that there is Birds of Prey one, which is the fifth. Then we have Thousand Nights duology by E.K. Johnson. So these are retellings of fairy tales. This Thousand Nights is retelling of 1001 Nights or Arabian Nights, depending on how you call it. And this spindle is the retelling of Sleeping Beauty, set in Arabia. So set in the world inspired by Arabia. In the first one, we're following a girl who takes her sister's place to become king's wife and keeps herself alive by telling him stories of her life in the desert village where she and her sister lived. And the spindle follows the few characters few centuries later who are trying to save the princess of their kingdom. They're set in the same world, just don't follow the same characters. Then we have Witch Blood by Lisa Casey. So this is the first book in Kitsune Chronicles. These books definitely need to be more popular because we are following Kitsune named Sebastian, and if you don't know what Kitsune is, it's Japanese nine-tailed fox spirit who has different powers. So we have fire, ice, electricity, and a few other elements. And Sebastian has been on the run for the past year until now, when he bumps into Liam, who is Alpha Werewolf, and actually saved Sebastian a year ago after that thing happened. And stuff goes from there, of course. Food Wars by Yuta Tsukasa, Shun Saeki and Yuki Morisaki. Definitely needs to be more popular. I loved both manga and anime. I know that some people have issues with the ending, but I loved both versions of the ending. Mostly because of Blue. But I love this series. So we're following Soma and his friends, and Soma is working with his dad in their family diner until one day when his dad tells him that he's going to close down the shop for a few years to go to work with, for his friend, and send Soma to the elite cooking boarding school in Japan. He obviously lives in Japan in the first place, and he kind of gets into all kinds of shenanigans with his friends Megumi, Aldini, Alice, Hayama, Kurokiba, and the rest. And you would think when you see this cover, these are ordinary teenagers, and then you see this. And then think this is pretty popular. I put the book in the wrong order. Love Boat Taipei by Abigail Heng Wen definitely needs to be more popular, so we're following Ever Wong, who really wants to be a dancer, but her parents want her to become a doctor, so they sent her to a summer educational program in Taiwan, which just ends up being a summer-long party. Then we have Shine by Jessica Young. In this book we are following a girl named Rachel Kim, who is a 17-year-old Korean American, and she wants to become a K-pop star. And then opportunity presents itself to her, where she can debut with her label's Golden Boy in duet. So then we have Splintered by A.G. Howard. Again, I think this is pretty popular, but definitely more people need to read this. So this is a retelling of Alice in Wonderland, following imaginary descendant of the girl who inspired the story, who gets herself wrapped into the shenanigans of Wonderland while visiting London. Then we have Half Bad by Sally Green. I won't stop pushing this series on people. I love this series. So in this series we're following Nathan, who needs to escape the cage he's been in since he was 14 before his 17th birthday, so he can get gifts from his and blood from his family member. Okay, we're gonna talk about this. What If It's Us by Becca Bertelli and Adam Silvera. I love this book. So this is a contemporary about two boys named Arthur and Ben, who meet at the post office and go on the series of disastrous dates in New York. Then we have my favorite book of all time, Dear with a Vampire by Abigail Gibbs. In this book we are following Violet Lee, who, after witnessing a brutal massacre of about 30 men, gets taken by a group of vampires who kill that man to their court, and turns out the guy who actually led the taking, Casper, is Vampire Prince. Stuff goes from there. Then the question number 3 is Romance You Love, Witch Blood by Lisa Casey, and also first 6 books in Black Dagger Brotherhood series by J.R. Ward. Took me a while to remember. I don't remember how the series starts, really. I read them at this point over 2 years ago. So we have question number 4. Your favorite genre and a popular genre that you want to read more from. So my favorite, fantasy. Want to read more from? Horror and sci-fi. A popular, then question number 5 is popular or beloved character that you love or a character that you feel deserves more love. Deserves more love, Sebastian from Kitsune Chronicles, Megumi, Soma, and Alini from Food Wars Shokugeki no Soma, Violet from Dinner with a Vampire, and also Casper. And I love, where is it? The Golden Trio, Neville, Ginny, and the Luna from Harry Potter. Question number 6 is autobuy author Sarah J. Maas. Then is a popular book trope that you love reading about. Fate and Mates can be found in both Kitsune Chronicles and the Aurora Cycle. Then we have number 8, a popular series that you are excited to read. A lot of them. A popular book and film where you love the story in the both formats. Of course, Harry Potter and The Maze Runner. Yeah, that's it for this video. If you liked it, like, share and subscribe. Down below you have my social media, my email and some other stuff, and I'll see you in the next one.